Going live. I want to get right into it, bro. What's up, everybody? This is Jay Aletto, pwpnation.com and at pwpnation here on YouTube. And I'm here with True God. What's up, bro?
What's happening, brother? What's going on, man?
Man, I'm just having fun, bro. Loving reading these news stories, bro. I want to get right into it, man, because I don't want to beat around the bush tonight. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, but I want to talk about this one special news story that I just heard about, and I want to hear your opinion on it. All right, so COVID anal swabs for Beijing residents more accurate, says Chinese expert. Let me just read a little bit of this, and then we'll get your comments. And Arnold Schwarzenegger gets COVID vaccine and urges others to follow suit. So everybody wants to listen to Arnold, but here we go. More than 1 million Beijing residents undergoing coronavirus testing amid a fresh outbreak have been administered anal swabs, which are considered more accurate and raise the chances of detecting COVID-19, said a Chinese, I should call it the Great Cornholio virus 19, as I've been calling it recently, said a Chinese disease specialist. Dude, before I go any further, I do want to read a little bit more of this to put it into perspective. But what's your early thought on this, dude? Is this something that we can expect? Are we going to be seeing President Biden in a couple weeks being like, China says that the anal swabs work for COVID-19? We're in a wartime situation. We're at war with COVID.
Probably. I'd say so. I think, I feel like the trajectory is probably like around March. If I'll say if the numbers stay steady, which I'm not so sure they're gonna stay so steady, to be honest with you. I don't think they are personally. I think the numbers are gonna go drastically down, especially leading into March or April. I actually think that. So I don't know if this will be necessary, but I do think there's probably gonna be something to where they're gonna be like, hey, look, if you want to detect it faster to help us fight this, then maybe think about the anal swab. But you ain't gonna convince too many people here to do the anal swab, man. I don't think like it's bad enough. I know people who got tested for it and was like, man, I ain't trying to do that. The one they take it all the way up your nose, and I know people who didn't want to do that. So you definitely not getting people to do that.
Have you been tested at all yet for COVID?
Nah, actually
Yeah, me either. I'm not scared to admit it. All right, so let's continue reading this. The key districts of Daxing and Dongcheng began a mass testing drive on Friday after a 9-year-old boy tested positive for the more virulent strain of the virus, first discovered in London and the southeast of England last month. Health authorities in the Chinese capital said they were aiming to screen more than 2 million people in 48 hours. Among them, around 1.6 million inhabitants in Daxing were to be giving antibody tests, as well as throat, nasal, and rectal nucleic acid swabs. One more paragraph, then we're done. Anal swabs have been in use since last year, including in the major port city of Shanghai. But the method... Dude, I really wish we had Trump right now, man. But the method is so far reserved for individuals in potential COVID-19 hotspots, according to an infectious disease expert quoted by China's state broadcaster CCTV. True. I can't wait to hear what Dr. Fauci has to say about this, bro.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna co-sign this. I'm 100% sure he's gonna co-sign it. I got a beef with him. I got a personal beef with him.
It's personal?
Yeah, I mean not personal. Like I don't know the man, but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know him, but if I ever saw him in the streets, I'd slap him. So that's just how because I feel like I just feel like it's personal for me because I see too many people that's kind of that I know and that's in my community that are taking up for him a little too much. And I kind of feel like, you don't know who this man is? Like, you don't know who he's connected to, who he has ties to. Like, you don't know that. So I think, the media puts this script out and, you can make Trump look however you make Trump look, make Biden look however you want, and Kamala Harris can look how she looks. And then, Dr. Fauci will look how he looks. And then people all of a sudden are starting to like gravitate to him again when it was quiet for him for months. It was quiet. Now he won't shut up. So I got a personal issue because I feel like, I don't trust on him anyway, but I've never liked him. for years.
People love Dr. Fauci. People love Dr. Fauci so much. It's unbelievable. Like, so I sell on eBay, right? Like, I'm an eBay
Yeah,
salesman. I
yeah.
I sell like thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of shit. Now, I just want to bring something up in just a second to show you just how popular Dr. Fauci really is. Now, not only is this man our favorite celebrity doctor in this country, without a question, he also has memorabilia, bro, and he has a ton of licensing and items. He's also our most paid federal employee at over
Saw that.
$487,000 a year. I'm pretty sure it was, if I'm not mistaken. I'll pull it up because I don't want to be wrong, but I think it was
417. I think it's 417. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 417,
there. You go.
which is still. I mean, let's be real too, right? You know, 417 is that's what you report, right? Just
Right.
like just like all those, like Nancy Pelosi, they say she makes 190,000 or 200 something a year, and it's like we know her whole situation with her with her family and how she's loaded. Even with Mitch, like we talking about Mitch McConnell, and I'm like, Mitch McConnell been investing and got money in hella places, so it's easy. I think it's easy to kind of pass off this. This is the salary of your quote unquote, public servants, as they should be called. But that's bull. I'm confused as to what I'm looking at right now. I'm confused. I'm looking and I'm seeing people buying or making offers.
These are all sales. You can see the screen, right? So you're seeing
Yeah,
all
I'm
these
looking.
Dr. Fauci. Yeah,
Yeah,
bro, these are all sales over the past couple of days. You're talking, they're going up in value. Like as he
that's
continues
ridiculous.
to, as he continues to get up out there and talk, like this one went for $62 on the 25th, which was yesterday. 13 bids, $62 for this Dr. Fauci card.
That's ridiculous, man.
That's crazy. And you go down the list. Look, somebody bought 4 Dr. Fauci cards for $164. I wish I would have got the Dr. Fauci cards. One thing I'm going to get for sure is that Bernie Sanders card. There's a similar one, a political card with Bernie
Yeah,
Sanders sitting in the chair with the mittens. I'm buying that shit. I got 2 more days to buy it. So I'm going to, or actually it might be today, dude. But anyway, I just want to show you that quick thing.
that's
So
crazy, man.
yeah, and there's more, dude. This is only the sports cards section of it. Like if I went to, like right now it's in baseball cards. If I went to all
Right.
and it's Dr. Fauci, like they want me to Google Dr. Fancy, but let's search all. And let's see. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've
You know
got
what's crazy?
bobbleheads.
You know
What's
what's
great?
crazy? So in the late summertime, early spring, early fall time, I went on like a t-shirt buying binge, and I was buying like all this like 90s memorabilia t-shirts and like old wrestling t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
to buy them. And while I'm on the site, they had like Dr. Fauci shirts. Like, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, and I was confused because I'm thinking, I got, like Martin Fresh Prince TV shirts here. I got, old school NWO DX t-shirts, also 316, and then Dr. Fauci in the middle of that. And I was like, how does that even make sense to put on this website? Like, why are people buying it? And so that made me see, I'm like, man, it's a game, man. Like, it's a game because there's no logic. Why would I want to wear a Dr. Fauci shirt? Like, why? You know what I mean? And that's what made it worse because I use T Public a lot, and T Public is actually pretty good for like different shirts. And I saw if you go on tpublic.com and you search Dr. Fauci, you're gonna find quite a few shirts for him. You can probably find Nancy Pelosi shirts. It's like, why would you want to wear these type of shirts? I don't get it.
There's one thing I want to show you, bro. Speaking of shirts, I need your opinion on this story. So, the political podcast that I listen to the most is Tim Pool. I love Tim Pool's show. I think he's a smart, absolute smart guy. Never takes one side of the story too seriously, always looks at everything from all directions. So, recently he had Alex Jones on his show, right? And Alex Jones is absolutely out of his mind. But he's been telling people, that guy has been telling people for a long time, True, that they're going to try to anal probe us. Bro, you could listen to Alex Jones' old stuff, and he was talking about it.
I've listened to a lot of Alex Jones over the years. I think about like 11, 12 years ago, my ex, and maybe like 10, 11 years ago, my ex started putting me on to Alex Jones, and she's like, you gotta listen to him. And we started listening to him together, and I was like, man, this dude crazy, but like I understood most of what he was saying. So back then I was like, I was on the same thought process and stuff he was saying. And now I can't say not so much now because he kind of lost me a little bit. Some of his stuff, he kind of lost me a little bit. But I don't think that's false. That they're gonna try to do some some
Yeah.
probing. I would not be surprised.
Oh, it's coming, bro. It's coming.
Yeah.
But this is a different story. So Alex Jones was on Tim Pool's show, and he was talking about this book that was called, dude, for whatever reason, the name of the book escapes me. It's somebody's name, but anyway, in the book, it's about how human beings are going to be going back to the way gorillas were, and the human being is told by a gorilla to say, "I am a gorilla. I am a gorilla. Hate yourself. I am a gorilla." All right. Something from a book. I cannot remember the name. So I hate that I was able to leave that part of the story out. But anyway, Tim Pool created a t-shirt that had a gorilla on it, right? Just a normal, regular gorilla. And somebody at Teespring, which is Teespring, they're a popular t-shirt printing company, a rogue employee or somebody playing a joke printed a bunch of these to look super racist coming from Tim Pool's t-shirt store. So I want to show you the original print and get your reaction to the second print, just because I'm curious what you're going to say. All right. So Tim Pool says, "Yo, Teespring, you want to tell me why our cartoon gorilla shirt became a fucking blackface drawing? How is this an accident? His hands were printed white and his face was darkened." So this is the original shirt. And it says, "I am a gorilla." Because what was happening is the clip from the Alex Jones episode where he was explaining the book, and the book escapes me, bro. I wish I could fucking remember the name of the book. He was explaining a popular, famous book about the gorilla thing, and it turned into this like viral thing within the show, which has like over 1 million listeners weekly. And this is the shirt that they actually printed and sent out to like dozens. Now there's like dozens upon dozens of people who have this shirt.
It's not.
So what do you think of this, dude? Do you think this was like intentionally done to just try to cancel Tim Pool, like put something like this in his name? Because this seems pretty fucked up to me. Like, how do you like you could know very rudimentary Photoshop knowledge and understand that this doesn't turn into that without somebody manually doing it, right?
No, definitely. I mean, obviously they definitely changed it up from the hands and all that shit too. So I mean, like I said, to me, if I'm being honest, both designs look a little funny to me.
Yeah.
Like really, both designs. Like if I saw somebody wearing either one in the streets, I'm gonna pull you up and probably smack the shit out you. So
Oh shit. Oh shit. I was hoping for a response like that, dude. I was hoping for something like that.
No, it's just because the way it looks, right? The way it looks, like the I'm a gorilla, like that look a little, it looks funny in general. Even if I get what the message was about, it still look funny. So if I saw that, I could see that, and it makes it worse when somebody does that, which is, that's not surprising though. I'm not surprised. Like nothing that people do that looks like that or ends up like that surprises me. So that shit does not, you know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people, like, because the first one is too close. I feel like the original one was too close anyway. So it's almost like somebody instantly will be like, "Yo, this is great." They probably think it's like, "Oh, it's a funny joke to do stuff like that." People think racist shit is funny all the time. So, like I said, if I saw somebody in the streets wearing that, I'm gonna knock on your fucking teeth. So,
Dude.
like,
So
that's facts.
So unfortunately, I don't know how to play the clip of what Alex Jones is talking about using StreamYard to
Right.
get you audio. I don't know how to do it. Fuck. See, there's certain things that I'm horrible at, and this is one of them. I'm terrible at like production and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, there was like this Alex Jones clip where he's like, I'm a gorilla. And again, it was just in the name of the book, but I cannot figure out what the name of the book is.
I feel like I might know which book you're talking about, but
yeah,
I feel like I've heard of this before, so that's why it's like it's ringing a bell, but I can't get the actual title in my head.
yeah, they talked about it a bunch of times on the Tim Pool show, but I'm gonna click on the subreddit, see if I can get it, because I really want to clear this up because I just can't fucking remember. Anyway, we can talk about some other shit too, bro. I'm just kind of like I'm blazed out tonight and just kind of chilling, bro. I wasn't really Oh, this is what it was like. I am a gorilla. Murder yourself is what he was saying. And where's the name of the book? Damn, dude, my bad. I can't find the name of the book. Anyway, let's not get bored with the details. So there's a lot of shit going on, man, since we last spoke.
Yeah,
We got the rollout of this vaccine. It's getting pushed more than ever. There's an actually a we're not gonna, I guess politics is really involved in everything right now. So you could talk about any topic and you could involve politics in it, where that wasn't our lives growing up. So like one thing I wanted to mention is I'm going to kind of pivot from talking about like what's going on. I was in Target the other day, right? And I never noticed this before I became like more woke to what's going on and like the programming and the brain shit, you know? Like I was in Target and I realized that that is a very liberal store. And I could just feel it while walking through Target. Like you go over to the book section and it's like Joe Biden's book and Barack Obama's book and Michelle Obama's book and you know, on, Hillary and Dr. Joe Biden and all this stuff. And those are all the books that are front facing, like out.
yeah,
And there's nothing to actually go to the other side and say, hey, here's Donald Trump Jr.'s book. Here's whoever else's book. It's not mixed together as you would
nah.
as you would think it kind of should be in a sense, because then it would draw in everyone rather than just one, you know, obviously of a divided country.
The concept of coexisting for people makes absolutely no sense to them. So whether you're liberal, whether you consider yourself conservative, whether you're somewhere in the middle, the concept of coexisting doesn't exist for people because then it will require you to have respect for the other person's views anyway. So that's why the world is the way it is. Like I don't know, like I know 90% of the world ain't gonna agree with what I believe and what I think anyway. So I look at it like, I know what they believe in. Do I believe in what they believe in? No, never gonna believe in what they believe in. I couldn't live my life being a sheep. I've been telling people for years, don't be a sheep. Back when you first started following me, I was doing wrestling podcasts telling people, don't be a sheep. Don't be a sheep. Stop being a sheep. The mindset of people is to be a sheep. If you believe in this system, you're a liberal, you believe in the liberals and all those politicians, that's cool. If that's what you want to do. Like I said, a lot of people brought up a certain way. Some people have a hard time breaking from their mental chain of what they were raised as. So what happens is when you go into these stores, like right now, I understand. In Target, maybe Barnes and Noble, whatever, those are stores you're gonna have Biden in front, the story of Kamala Harris. Like you're gonna have these things in front because a couple years ago, when I would go to like Barnes and Noble or Target, I would see like Trump stuff and books on like conservative. So it's just the climate is dictated by where we are as a society. That's where it is. So right now we need change and blah 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 this, blah 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 that. So they go push it and force it. And like I know how the game goes. It's the game, man. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's the game. Like Target is if say like John McCain had won the presidency when Obama ran or something like that, then they would have touted him as this war hero or war prisoner or whatever you want. You know what I mean? They're gonna have all this stuff on Veterans Day. Like that's what they do. So whenever they can tout you with something or pinpoint certain things that make their agenda go, they're gonna do it. And right now, it's the liberal agenda. The world is the world is, well, half of the world, because it's like a half of the world. And my grandfather has conversation. My grandfather's like a lot older than me, so we have interesting viewpoints. We see alike on certain things. So like, but he considers himself a liberal. Like most older black men that grew up in certain stuff, like they would consider themselves that. But even he's kind of like, he's like, yeah, it's a little too liberal for me right now.
Mm.
Like he's all about, let's get tax breaks for, the underprivileged and people who don't have this. Let's try to
Oh
get rid
yeah.
of student loan debt. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's do that. But then he's like, I don't know how I feel about this, and I don't know how I feel about certain women's sports being kind of infiltrated by non-born women.
Yeah.
Like so he's kind of like, I don't know how I feel about all that stuff, and I think that is some pushback that liberals in general are going to feel, because there's you have to walk a fine line because everything is balanced. The world has to be balanced, so you can be on this side for this and that. But if you go too far over to this side, you're gonna lose a lot of people because not everybody agrees on this. Not everybody agrees on that. And I've always said a lot of the liberal agenda is to benefit a minority more so than the majority, which is fine in certain cases. But if you're talking about a majority of like 1 to 2% of a population and you're changing a whole bunch of stuff, you're gonna lose a lot of people. And I know a lot of people who are not with some of the shit that they're coming with. Some of those executive orders I saw Biden was signing and all that. I got texting people like, yo, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing? Like, first of all, he need to sign an executive order to get us some checks. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
get rid of this, get rid of the student loan debt. Like, I know people got 60, 70, 80,000 dollars of student loan debt. You taking away $10,000 of student loan debt ain't really doing much for them. That's nothing. There's basically
Right.
nothing. You deferring the payments for however for till October. That's not nothing. Cancel again. Like all it is robbery anyway. All that shit is robbery anyway. Why do we have to? I've always wondered why do we have to pay or get loans to go sit in the university for years to get this degree that for a lot of people you ain't using that shit when you can get out there like that. And if you go to for 4 years, some of you got to go for another 4 years. Like
Hmm.
like if you
Yep.
got a psychology degree, you are not doing anything with a 4 year degree if you study
Yeah.
psychology. It's not happening. It's
I th-
bullshit.
I th- I think they're starting to make college be less prevalent, and I think that's going to be done by design, and it's going to start
Yeah,
fading away. And I also think that's going to be an attempt to try to make people lazier. And I think a part of the thing, a part of the push for college, I think should be motivating. Like
yeah.
teach kids how to work hard and study and have you know I guess
But I,
I don't know. I'm
I
kind
tell
of
you,
stumbling around my words, but you know what I'm
nah.
saying.
But I tell you what I told some of like the homies I grew up with. Like once I got into the work world and I started to like move my way up in certain, whether it was like office stuff, corporate stuff, and I did like construction work, electrical work, and when you making 40, $50 an hour just to go work on a job over here or something like that. Like if you study a trade, if you get on your hustle game and you work hard, like I know people who bypass college and making six figures right now. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think there's no one set path for anybody. College is great. I think college is great. It's a great experience to have. I think, if you have specific things you're looking for, absolutely helps. If you want to get a job in certain fields, absolutely helps. But there are so many people who didn't want to wait. I know so many people who like, man, look, I got out of high school. Some people's circumstances didn't allow them to wait.
Hmm.
Some people couldn't really, some people couldn't get all of that stuff together for student loans and all that. They couldn't, So it's like I know people, and I tell people, man, like your situation should dictate what you do. If college ain't for you, don't force yourself to do something. Just because that's the path you think you're supposed to be on, don't force yourself to do something because you're gonna end up probably hurting yourself. And there's so many people I know who went to college for a year or two, found out it wasn't for them, and dropped out, or went knowing it wasn't for them and made it through those 4 years and then did nothing after that. So, it varies. That's why I said student loan stuff. I feel like if college was more accessible to people, to a lot more people, I feel like people would probably care more about it. Because if you think about people who don't get scholarships, people who don't want to take out large loans or student loans, that's a lot, man. It's a lot on people. You get out of school and you got $80,000 to pay back, $100,000 to pay back. That don't set you up good for the real world after you
No,
get out.
it doesn't, and it depends on what line of work you get into, I guess. But a lot of people don't even learn a strategy on how to pay their student loans. Like that should
No,
be a course. That should be something that is required for the college to provide to the student, like a path, a clear cut path and strategy on how to pay that shit back. You shouldn't be expected to know how to do that, man. And to me, that's the same as like if you're talking about necessities and shit, like the internet, man. Yeah, I'm not down with a lot of socialism. I really am. I'm not like, but there are certain things that I think we could all benefit from. And I think a free internet, like not having to pay Verizon $100 a month for good internet, I think that should be provided for everyone for free. The government should fit the bill for that. They should make the gigantic big tech companies pay for all of it. We should all get the internet for free. I would even make the big tech companies pay us all for our data and information. Directly pay us for it, because no matter what we do, we're getting monetized across the board from the government, from big tech, from most companies now in 2021. Like all these companies are just following big tech's lead. Every company, dude, every company I even inquire about, they latch onto your system. They know your search history, your search engine shit. Like, dude, I don't type anything into a Google search anymore, bro. Not into a Google search. I won't use Google at all unless I absolutely need to. And that's just in the rare occasion when I have some kind of like some kind of document that I need to only use Chrome for. Like Chrome's the only way to do it. But like you're right about Biden, dude. This kind of shit to me is part of the reason why I was like, we cannot go with a guy like Joe Biden, because he is a puppet. This guy has been the same swamp creature for his entire political career. He wrote the damn crime bill that put away tens of hundreds of millions. I don't even know how many people, man, he put away with the crime bill. A lot of people.
I got cousins that served time behind that crime bill. So I never had any love for Joe Biden ever. So you know what I'm saying? Like, and granted, when I was growing up, I didn't know that was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a kid, so I didn't know the crime bill was what it was. You know what I mean? But then when you start to do your research and find out, like, oh, this is why they gave my man's, you know, having many years for this, you know, this, that, and the other. Like once you start finding out stuff like that, like I was like, yeah, I'm not, you know. And then knowing, you know, Kamala Harris's record, I can't in good confidence. Like I don't bang with no politician. I don't like any of them. So for me, when people I don't get into all of that. You know, I don't get into all that back and forth about Biden versus this, Biden versus Trump. So I'm like, I don't care about all that, man. Like I never cared about it because I look at it like everybody's in this. It's a system. Everybody's in the system. When CNN turns off and Fox News turns off, MSNBC turns off, these people give each other handshakes, pounds. They go to dinner together. They
Yeah, they do.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these people, and they do a lot of other things together too that we not gonna see too. So there's so much different, you know, crazy stuff that goes on. Like I can't look at, like I said, I can't look at somebody who, what was it, Kamala ran on, you know, calling Biden an sexual abuser and creep and all that, and then, you know, and then we could look at Kamala's record and be like, yo, look what you done too. So it's like I don't believe in the institution like everybody else does. And I know a lot of people who believe in it, and people who are liberal believed in it. People who are conservative believed in that Trump was going to, quote unquote, make America great again. People were going to, you know, believe that Biden is going to change things and make things for the better. Like, I don't look at it either way. I don't look at it like that. I never looked at it like that, because none of those people going to make or break me. Like when I was struggling and I got up out there and I had to hustle and do what I had to do, I didn't care who was president at the time. I didn't care about those provisions.
It doesn't matter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. We're just back. We're back to the same old shit though now. You know, like with Trump. See, I was, you know, so oblivious to it for so many years. Completely oblivious. I just followed whatever the mainstream media said. And this is in full disclosure. We've probably talked about this before. I followed whatever the mainstream media said. I thought Fox News was bad. I thought Fox News was just horrible propaganda, white supremacy stuff, which it's not, by the way. I thought that, you know, whatever was on Saturday Night Live was the truth. Whatever stand-up comedian said was the truth. I just followed all their opinions. I was a huge fan of Bill Maher, Real Time. Like, I just followed that scope. I was completely brainwashed, you know, and, you know, Orange Man bad. I was taught to hate Donald Trump. And I got to say, like, I always liked Obama, and I still don't really mind Obama. I don't really have any problems with Obama. There's a few things that piss me off that, you know, I didn't know about that now I know about. There's a lot of things about Trump that piss me off, but there's a lot of things that I actually, going back and seeing some of the things he actually did for the country, there's a lot of stuff that I actually like about that I liked about Donald Trump. But now that we're in this Biden era, I just knew he was the wrong choice, and I'm way more privy to it. And bro, to be honest, I don't even like talking about pro wrestling or anything that much anymore, dude. I like talking about politics. This shit is fun. Every day it's like a fucking crash test dummy explosion. It's just like chaos every single day. You're just getting such extreme viewpoints.
I tell you what, man, I haven't I usually hate talking politics because when I talk politics, like I said, I'm usually the only person in the room that feels the way that I feel. And so it becomes, and people don't listen. I think people don't listen to understand, like to your point, like I don't have anything good to say about Fox News. I don't have anything good to say about CNN. Like I don't like any of them because
Mm-hmm.
because to me everything's propaganda. All the media is propaganda. I
Yep.
like so I don't say I don't have anything really good to say about Obama. I don't have anything good to say about Trump or Biden. I will say there were avenues that opened up while Trump was in office that I became more aware of business wise that led me to become a lot more successful. That I didn't notice. Maybe it's because it just wasn't in my face at the time. But in terms of like the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin stuff, and I started kind of getting to a little more of that, and then other avenues and stuff too. Like I didn't realize that those avenues were out there the way that they were. Like I'd heard about them before Trump got in, but it became more prevalent for me, and I was like, wow. And then you start to kind of read up a little bit more, and I was like, oh, okay, there's some avenues open up that I wasn't aware of that became open up during his presidency, and
Yeah.
you start to see now you start to see like it's a lot of executive orders, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
That's coming out right now. So and it's like if you focus on one or two that sound good in theory, you'll undercut the other three or four that may not be good in theory. And I think that's politics though. Politics is they tell you what you need to know and they sweep everything else you don't need to know under the rug. It's the same thing they do when they do like relief bills. They do like this COVID relief bill or stuff like that. They'll tell you, hey, we got a $1,200 check in here for you. We got $600 a week in unemployment here, but we got this here under the surface, that here under
Mm-hmm.
the surface, this here under the surface. Like, oh, we're going to fund our own businesses through this bill that we're passing. Like, there's just a whole bunch of other stuff that goes into it that makes me feel like, man, like you can't trust. Nah, you can't trust these people, man. Like,
Yeah.
their
None of them.
bottom line is what matters the most. Their bottom line matters the most, and there's avenues for you to get it yourself. But if we as people keep waiting for them to do stuff for us, you're never gonna get nothing. That's why I was like I'm a hustler, man. I've been hustling since I was like 13. So like I know how to get mine. And but because I am the way I am, I'm like, yeah, I still want them checks. Them checks. Like like I
Hell yeah.
look, man, they talking about 8K, 8K TVs coming out. And you know what I'm saying? I want to see how the PS5 looking at 8K, man. Like, so
Definitely, dude.
so
Definitely.
it's
Me
like
too, man. Me too.
I could buy it right now, but it's like, hey, if the government gonna send an extra whatever, hey, cool, let me do that then. So you know what I mean? Like, shoot, my daughter likes stuff too. Let me get something extra for her. Like that's how I look at that. I don't look for that money because I need to pay bills, and I think that is where I feel like I'm different a little bit than other people that I talk to because I've always looked at myself like I'm a voice of the people, and I speak for the people who come from the backgrounds I come from, but I'm just not in those backgrounds anymore. So, I'm just not in that environment anymore. And I feel like those are the people that I worry about when this stuff is going on, when it's government versus government, when it's Democrats versus Republicans, and it's people who, had jobs and lost their jobs and people working in the service industry that the restaurants are shut down. So how can they get their money? You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
worry about those people more than I worry about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like me, mother, my child, we're good. We good. My circle, my friends, my family, we all good. We're all great. We made it through this, quote unquote pandemic a lot better than most people. You know what I'm saying? At least from a financial perspective, we made out pretty well. So I feel like we're good. But there's so many people in this world that do not have and that come from where I come from and they don't. So I try to be mindful of them when I go into these conversations and when I talk politics. Like them people struggling, man. It's a lot of people struggling. I can't help everybody. So like the government is the reason why shit shut down. So it's not
True.
it's not it's not the people's fault. It's not the people's fault. Like people was getting up, going to work every day, then all of a sudden, boom, you got everything shut down. And then the way the unemployment was set up, at least from what I was told, a lot of these people couldn't even get unemployment. So you know what I'm saying? Like you can't take food out of people's mouths, take money out of people's pockets, and then not give and not supplement that because it's your fault we in this. It's not our fault. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like people still go to work in the midst of this. And it's a lot of people who still go to work and then people still work from home and stuff like that, but the hours got cut. Like they're landlords and stuff like that. Unless you own a house, which is not as many people as could be in this world. Unless you own a house, you still got to answer to somebody else, still pay somebody else. So like them landlords need their money too. So it's like you can't stop the flow of the world and then take everything from people and then not give them something to supplement. That's
dude,
my biggest issue.
I don't know if you own a house, but I do, man. And I own a house, and the mortgage company doesn't cut you a break, dude. You're not cut any breaks. They don't give you like a COVID payment or anything like that. They don't cut you any. They don't fucking, they follow the rules. Same with all the banks. All the banks follow the rules.
Yeah,
every credit card company, they follow the rules. They'll listen to you. They'll say, "Oh, we're so sorry to hear that." You can give them any excuse, dude. Dude. I take full advantage with credit card companies. I don't give a shit. Fuck them. I ride them for as long as possible. Who gives a shit? But dude, I put every last dollar I have that's expendable right now, I am throwing at Bitcoin in freaking volume. I think any purchase of Ethereum under $2,000 is a great buy right now. I am not a financial expert. I am not a financial advisor. Invest at your own risk. I will help you if you want. Talk to me about it. If you're out there in YouTube land and you think you might want to get involved, I've been in and out of the cryptocurrency game for 3 to 4 years, over 4 years now, actually. Over 4 years. I sometimes forget what year I'm in because it feels like fucking Groundhog Day, starring Bill Murray, 1993 classic cult hit. It feels like that right now for me, bro. It feels like that for me sometimes. But I keep my face buried in cryptocurrency as much as I possibly can. Whenever I'm not doing my shoot job, I am looking at these. This market goes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Look, a lot of red. This red is buy signals for me. I think Stellar is great. This is a great item right here, XLM. However, I think at 25 cents right now, it's too much money. I'm going to wait till it gets back down to the teens. But anyway, I just want to give that rant. If you want to know more about crypto or Bitcoin, let me know. I'll happily help you out. What's your idea? What do you think about Bitcoin cryptocurrency, bro? I heard you mention it before, so it kind of set off a little ping in my brain to bring it up.
Yeah, I dabble in it. I'm not an expert. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple people who know more about it than I do, and they kind of let me know what to do, how to move a little bit. And I trust their judgment, so I go with them, and I pick their brains a little bit. But I'm kind of looking at it like, hey man, I'm just trying to be ahead of the curve,
Sure.
because as time goes on, we're gonna see a lot of changes. And I've always said cryptocurrency was a big part of the future. So it's going nowhere. I think some people, heard of it and was like, oh, what is that? Nah, it's not going anywhere. And
yeah,
it's gonna
here
get
to
more.
stay.
It's going to get more prominent as time goes on. I have a full belief in, same thing where I tell people in terms of, with stocks and stuff like that too, been kind of, doing more investing. I think that's the future for us has to be investing in something, because the amount of money that we kind of fuck off just on miscellaneous stuff, that's something you could take and put into something to invest into, and it can come back to you tenfold. And that's what, stocks and just cryptocurrency, like all this stuff for me has kind of opened up my eyes to see like, yo, instead of wasting this, I could put this into that. Instead of doing this, I can put this into that. I can get this while this is, this is going to be a gainer. This is going to be, so I've kind of, like I said, I'm not an expert, so I can't go heavy into it like that. But, like I said, I got some people who really smart around me who've been kind of hipping me to the game, put me on game more and more for it. And I ain't gonna lie, when I first saw it, I was like, man, I ain't got time to watch these charts and graphs and shit, man.
It's easy.
You know what I'm saying? Watch for it. But now that I started to get accustomed to it, it's like, yeah, this is good money. You know what I'm saying? This is good money for me. So it's the future, man. Like I said, everything's changing, and you gotta keep up or you get left behind.
That's right. We're actually in the Great Reset right now as we speak. I know you're privy of the Great Reset. I don't want to dive too much into that. We can talk more about the Great Reset in another episode of the show. That I'm just having so much fun doing these, man. I'm just jumping on here like every day and just ranting and raving, saying like crazy shit, man. I'm just having fun.
That's the beauty of it, right? that's the
Yeah.
beauty of it, right? Because when you do shows and stuff like that, man, like you you got to be passionate about it to really get focused. Like if you're just doing it just to do it, it ain't gonna really work. If it's something you enjoy and
Hmm.
something you're passionate about, man, like when I did podcasts for like 3 or 4 years, man, like I did it because I was passionate about it. I loved doing it. I loved doing it. And then at the time when I finally lost the love for it, I backed out for a couple of years. So like it's great to have that feeling where you just want to get on there every day and just say what you gotta say. It gives you a platform to speak your mind. That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm trying to quit video games too. I got a video game problem. So this is helping me like cut down my video game screen time by actually talking and doing something like else. I
Hey
also
man,
have a money.
video games are too fun, man. Too fun. You gotta have a little fun, right? You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a little
Hell
fun
yeah.
too. That actually, that's like I used to call it mindless entertainment. You know what I mean? Like our own mindless entertainment. Whether it was for me, mindless entertainment is watching wrestling or watching sports or playing video games. Like everybody needs that because it's like your brain's downtime. It's like actual psychological thing where your brain needs that downtime because you overwork your brain when you constantly thinking, which is good to constantly think because the world doesn't want you to think too much. But
Hmm.
that's why they
Yeah.
give us so much overconsumption of these things that are mindless entertainment. But it's good to have a little bit of it because you can decompress. It's good
Hell
to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to finish off on this one last topic here real quick before we part ways tonight, my friend. But if you can see my screen, this is the debt clock, the American debt clock. There are tons of numbers on here. I'm sure you're familiar, but I want to bring your
Yeah.
attention to the U.S. federal debt to GDP ratio. Look at the change from 1960. That's bad. That's bad. Over 50% is bad. 1980, we're rocking and rolling in America. We're at the point where we're just about born. Our parents were just living it up in the 60s, 70s. The 1980s were a strange time, a different time, 100%. But look at that federal GDP ratio. Then you hit 2000, and I'm telling you, bro, right after 2000, it fell off a cliff with 9/11, and here we are now at 130%. This is the number one proof that I show people anytime they tell me that, oh, Bitcoin is a scam, Bitcoin is a Ponzi, it could just go down yeah, it can go down because
Yeah.
it's an asset. It's an asset like anything else, like gold, like silver, like sports cards. I have a ton of sports cards that are worth more than you would even imagine. Bro, it's an asset. It's like anything else. It's just a different asset. It's a different form of currency. It has a proof of work and a proof of concept that is proven time and time again. It has tons of different platforms that are built off it and on top of it. Cryptocurrency in general will be right up there with your options to pay for goods in the future, the same way you have MasterCard and Discover Card
Yep.
and cash and credit and PayPal and Cash App and Apple
Yep.
Pay and this and that and the other thing. What do you think all these apps are for? This is what
Yep.
these apps are getting you accustomed to. You start using these apps,
Right.
eventually you have different currencies, man. You have global currencies. We're in the middle of the great fucking reset, bro. We're in the middle of globalism coming to the entire world. Let's hope that we can somehow stop this agenda in a few years. That's what I'm hoping, is that maybe a new president after this one can stop the globalist agenda. I know Trump tried, and we see where that got him. It didn't get him to a place where he wants to be, second impeachment. But we'll see what
We'll
happens, man.
see. I will see. I have zero faith because I've always said Trump. I don't think Trump was initially supposed to win. So I feel like things happened and it was like, oh, we got to roll with it. And I feel like that there was a lot of the president is always controlled to an extent, but I don't think he was as controlled as previous presidents. I'd say he probably was a little. He kind of went off the script. Probably went off script a little bit,
A
And
lot, dude. A lot.
you
He
know,
straight up. Here's what Trump did. Here's what Trump did. What other presidents would say, "Oh, we're giving funds to another country. We're doing that." He would say, "Oh, we made millions and millions of dollars in gun sales. We gave all these guns to Saudi Arabia. They gave us $550 million for all these weapons and guns. It's the greatest thing ever. Our country's never done this before." He would say stuff like that, and everybody would be like, "Dude, you're telling the entire country that you just sold guns to Saudi Arabia."
I've I've had two perspectives on that, and one of my perspectives was some of that might have been on. I always felt like some of that was on purpose to literally test the American people to see how we react to knowing the things that we probably shouldn't. They said us we shouldn't know, but now we know them, and it's like most people are like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm like, where the fuck you been
Where you
at? Like
been? Where you been?
this is common. Like this is common knowledge. Like all
Yep.
this stuff. Like everything so I felt like I was like he's going off script. But then the part of me was like, maybe that is the script. Maybe they want you to. Maybe they want you
Maybe.
to get, like maybe they want you to know this and be like, are you gonna get mad? What are you gonna do? Like everything that happened in the last year or two, like with from riots and protests and everything. I'm like, man, all the government's been doing is just testing you to see how willing you are to start a real revolution. Because most people aren't really ready to do it. Because the moment you try to and you get shut down, like I said, whether it was the BLM protests in the summertime, whether it's the Proud Boys in rushing the Capitol or the other protests, like nobody's really ready for what it would take to start a real revolution. Because if essentially starting a real revolution, and I'm saying this myself, starting a real revolution would mean you sacrificing yourself for the greater good. Nobody's ready to do that because we all got homes, we all got lives, we got we got wives, kids, like that. Like nobody really wants to sacrifice their life for that. It's like, hey man, I'm gonna get mine while I'm here, and so I feel like that's America. That is America now. It's good to talk a good game, but like, how many people really gonna jump out the window for it? And you can storm the Capitol with guns. You could storm, through fucking bumblefuck whatever to go do stuff in there. But it's like if they meet y'all with guns, because that's gonna happen eventually. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, the U.S. has people doing their bidding for them, and whether it's the military, the National Guard, whether it's the cops, they have people doing their bidding for them. We're civilians. We're considered civilians. If you're a civilian and you step in the line and you're trying to attack the government, like they did that bullshit. Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell's houses got like sprayed up. Like I saw that, I was like, come on, man. If we were,
And dude, real quick, and there was that explosion in Nashville. Remember
yeah,
that
right.
right before?
But see, I was looking at it like this: if somebody was really going to destroy Nancy Pelosi's house, somebody's really going to destroy Mitch McConnell's house, and you talking about we need them $2,000 checks. Let's be real. Are you gonna just spray paint, or you gonna break in their house, tear their shit up, get some of them valuables, and go sell them joints off too? This is how we like that. Like as I said, like if we being real, a lot of stuff don't seem real to me because when I start
Fake,
hearing, I'm like,
dude. It's fake.
yeah,
Fake.
like it's all fake.
It's
Like
just straight up fake, dude.
yeah, because no one. If I'm gonna break into a politician's house that I know is rich, like Nancy Pelosi, if Nancy Pelosi got bread, if I was gonna bring in her house, I want every single thing you got because I know you got it. Like you giving people $600 and we're struggling in the world. I know you got this. If I go to Mitch McConnell, like Mitch McConnell got an Asian wife and she got bread, I'm like, y'all got money. I want all of that. But that's how you know that's not civilians that's actually doing that. This is all set up because if you're a civilian and you're struggling and you feel like angst and anger and it builds up and you're ready to tear some shit up, you won't tear some shit up. We've seen it in the past. But these people nowadays, nah, man, like 60s and 70s, they was tearing shit up. I had family members who, they were tearing shit up. And they were, you know what I mean? So, and they were fighting against the cops and the National Guards because they felt like they were God. He's so ugly, man. He's kind of an ugly looking dude, man.
Look at her though, man. She's kind of hot.
I know when she was younger, she had to be bad, man. I believe there's no way she wasn't bad. She wasn't hot. Like I kind of want to see how she looked back in the day.
Well, that's McConnell. That's a young McConnell. I don't want to see. Oh, wait, maybe that's her. Maybe that's them. Yeah, that looks like it's them.
Weird.
Yeah. Oh, then wife Cheryl. No, not her. Not her. My bad.
Oh, so he had another wife before.
Yeah. Of
She
course
she,
he did. Look at this guy. Here's her a little bit younger.
she
Yeah,
not
dude.
bad. Yeah, she
No,
not
she's
bad.
good, man.
Yeah, she not
Th-
bad. How does
This
that
guy is
happen?
an evil. This guy is an evil motherfucker. He's an evil son of a bitch, bro. Look at
I can't,
this.
I
And she,
can't, I can't, I can't say what I really think about Mitch McConnell. I'll just say his DNA don't. I don't think his DNA is like ours. I'll say that much.
dude, I know what you're saying. You see, like, I think a few months ago, his skin was turning like all kinds of weird colors and shit.
Yeah,
Ugh,
like I
he's
don't think
gnarly.
like I said, there's a lot of stuff I know about and I've heard, and some things sound far fetched to people, but you got to really think about certain things, like that. Certain things can't be explained, and nobody's skin looks like that.
No.
Nobody's skin looks like that, man. Like I've seen people of all shades bruised up and banged up. I ain't never seen that, man. And so, like I said,
China.
it's a lot of stuff I've seen that makes you go like, yo, these people are not what not what people think they are, and there's some real evil people in them circles, man. And I use the word people very lightly, so I use it like that. But
Look at it,
I don't
bro.
want to say too much. I
Look at
say
it,
too
bro.
much.
24 million dollars she's
$24
worth.
million. That's
Look at
like
that.
that's crazy. She's worth 24 million. What does she do? Like, what is she? Like, what does
So
she do?
she served she's a politician, American
I
businesswoman
thought
and
she was right.
politician. Member of the Republican Party, Chao served as Secretary of Labor under President George W. Bush from '01 to '09, and as
Mm.
Secretary of Transportation under President Trump from 17 to
Wait,
21.
wait, 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 wait. Okay, Elaine, that her name sounds familiar. Okay,
Yeah,
now I get it. I did. Okay, okay, now I get it. That okay. That's Mitch McConnell. That makes sense now. That
Elaine
makes so much
Chao.
sense.
All right, dude, let's finish up on that, man. I want to go blaze and like go to sleep.
Nah, I
So,
feel you. I got
yo,
stuff.
bro, let's keep doing this though, man. I think
Oh,
this
for
this
sure.
is good. We're having a good
Yeah,
time. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
fun
Have
conversation.
fun, man. Yeah, for sure.
I got more conversations coming up. My buddy from high school, that time period, he's going to be on the show. He does a show
Like,
called Baseball. That's a baseball show,
oh,
and
that's what's up.
baseball's cool, man. I like baseball, so I'm going to talk to
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
He's got a very I don't want to. It's a funny comedy song, but it's a little bit racist. It's a little
Okay.
racist. But it's not. It's not in a negative way. Maybe I'll send it to you unless you listen to it and you can give me
Yeah,
your. It's a rap song.
let me hear it.
You give
I'll listen to it. Let me
you
hear
give
it.
me your expertise on it. But anyway, I'll bounce out of here. True. Any final words? Anything you want to say tonight before we get out of here?
Uh, yeah, I'll tell everybody wake up, man. Wake up,
Yeah.
use your brains. And don't follow me on Twitter. I tell you right now, don't follow me on Twitter because I'm gonna be saying a lot of shit over the next however many months. And don't listen to my music right now because I'm saying a lot of stuff in my next album I got coming out in March. I got an album coming out in March that I'm saying a lot of stuff on it. So if you want to listen to it, of course you go to check out True God on Spotify. But if you don't feel like hearing some truth, don't listen to it.
Listen to Eyes on the Ring. I really like that Eyes on the Ring album. That thing is awesome.
That is one of my favorite records just because it's a wrestling hip hop album and people don't
Yeah.
and it's very rare that you hear that in music. And I felt like I was like, man, I want to take a chance to do something different. And it's interesting because we literally sampled a ton of themes and I had to literally make a song based around the person that the theme was. I did a Hulk Hogan joint on there, man. I did a Hulk Hogan NWO. I literally did a song on Hulk Hogan's heel turn from the '90s to becoming an NWO, like an actual song about it. So, hey,
Yeah.
check that out. It's a big fan.
It's
Check that out.
it's a great album. Dude, I love that album. I listened to it probably 100 times. So, but
I
anyway,
appreciate it.
I'm out of here, dude. Let's do this again next week. All right,
For sure. Bet.
all right, brother. I'll talk to you later. All right, man. That was true. That was true. Thank you so much to True God. He said not to check out his music, but please go check out his music. I was just 100% joking about that song before too. I was just trying to see what his reaction was. My friend does not have a song that was at all borderline racist in any way, shape, or form. I was just joking around, but we're gonna have some more shows coming to you in the next few days, weeks, months, years. This is only the beginning. And I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate you all. I love you. Thank you for listening to me. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please hit me up in the comments below. And let's go on this journey together, baby. It's only just begun. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.